Awesome. Welcome to the next video in our series. And the purpose of this video is to walk you through our upload capability in Bitwave. For the most part, most people won't need this because Bitwave is integrated via API to a variety of exchanges, platforms, DeFi protocols, blockchains, so on and so forth. But there are situations where your source, your data source, doesn't have an API or various other reasons where we can't directly connect to them, and you could use this tool as a way of getting your data in. I will go through the fields of the upload and then we'll do an upload. I won't go through every field. We'll probably have a different tutorial that's more complex, but this will cover 99% of the use cases for this tool. So to start with, we have an ID, kind of like a system level ID. It's not a transaction by transaction ID necessarily. And by the way, as you can see in my case, I've populated it with the dummy ID because some sources don't actually even have this ID to populate. So it can be a dummy ID populated. I'll skip this optional field here, and then I'll go to the next one, which is a very important field, the amount of your transaction. And the next field here is the currency that amount is denominated in. So USDC or ETH or BTC or whatever the underlying digital currency or token or digital asset is. I'll skip the next two columns as they'll be used in a more advanced capability. Then the next column is the fee. This is actually an optional field, but I think important to be aware of. So you can put, if there's usually when you transact, there's usually a fee associated with it. For example, if you transact on the Ethereum platform, you'll probably pay some fees in ETH. So this doesn't have to match the currency of the transaction. It's the actual currency of the fee. So in this case, I'm saying you're paying 2 USDC in transaction fees. The next column is the time, and this needs to be in UTC format. This next column is optional, but also important. So this typically is what uniquely identifies the transaction, and you should have it from your source. If you don't and you leave this blank, the system will kind of generate one and populate it. There's a memo field here, and then the next field is pretty important and actually case sensitive. So it's either a deposit or a withdrawal. So funds coming in or funds going out, and it's case sensitive, so it needs to be in this format. And then finally, there is a account ID field, which is the account ID in Bitwave for the wallet that we're uploading these transactions to. So I can show you in Bitwave how to get to it. So if you go to Bitwave, you go to wallets. In my case, I go to wallet details and I grab that ID right there. So that's how I get to the ID that's used there. You might have other wallets and you might use one of those. The next couple of columns are also useful in the longer term, but in most use cases, you won't use this. So we'll cover that in a future tutorial. And then finally, the tax exempt status, true or false. In most cases, obviously false. So the next thing I'm going to do is prepare the file. I am going to move this a little bit out so I can take some action on it. I'm going to get rid of this descriptive row because that's not needed for the upload. I am then going to download it as a CSV, as you can see. So it's downloaded to right here. All right, so in Bitwave, I'm going to show you how to upload it. What you have to do is essentially go to the Tools tab, and then you click the plus here. I'm going to drag, but you can browse. You can hit the choose file and browse for it. I'm going to hit the upload. It's going to review the data. I'm going to click begin validation. It's going to validate. And then I'm going to click run import, and it should have that uploaded. When I load here, you can see my 2 transactions here. Thank you very much.